Guys, I am explosively excited after that episode. I literally just finished watching it again. It was mammoth. It was a long episode. It was, in your cell phone when you make notes, I ran out of space. I had to start another note because there was so much going on. There was so much to keep track of. There were so many come to Jesus moments that I had when I was just like, do you know what just happened? Do you realize what just happened? At the moment, in the Survivor community, there is a lot of talk around that being the best episode of Survivor anywhere. I think I have to agree. I've watched a lot of Survivor. I've eased off it since playing it because it's very traumatic to rewatch other people doing this. But for South African Survivor, I really, really do get involved and watch it with my whole being. That is one of the best episodes of Survivor that there ever has been anywhere on any Survivor that I have ever seen. And that's a consensus by a lot of people. There were so many moments that were just like that emoji where your brain is exploding. That's what was happening. And on the second time around watching it, there were things that I missed. And right, we're in episode 8. We're on 19 days in. Obviously, it's merged. That is the byline. That is not even the headline of this episode. Osindile is the name of the merge. Blah, blah, blah. Yakety, yakety, yakety. Nobody cares. But let's actually go back. Anele comes back. He's got tribal insurance. Marisha finds an idol, calls Renier to come and get it. That is the start of the episode. Marisha, in front of everybody, going, Renier, kom hierso. Kom nou. I was like, ooh, wie is die auntie? It was a really strange way of doing it. However, the idol then gets claimed and Renier hangs on to it. And it's now a 7, I think it was 7 people who are now connected to this idol because they go on and tell everybody about it. Interesting. And those are the peanuts that Santuni talks about in the packet. Those are the special peanuts. They are in a number majority and they are sitting pretty. It's fascinating to watch. Anyway, they're still on the individual islands. That happens the next morning. Everybody wakes up. They find the idol. They go to that merge. It's not even a challenge. Drop your buffs again. It feels like deja vu. Somebody last week in my questions and comments said, do you think that Southern Sun will sponsor the feast? They do. Let's talk about the feast, right? Chappies has a lot of wine. Somebody says, I think Sean says he's on his 3rd glass. And then I counted another glass of champagne. And I was watching with my very good friend Stefan this episode, and he said, ooh, loose lips sing ship. Santuni had it correct there. You drink juice at the merge. Drink the juice. Because it claps you a little bit, and you don't even know what you're saying. What I've discovered in this episode, guys, we're going to get to the super drama that happened in this episode. There's a lot of people are talking about the records that were broken. We're definitely going to talk about that. There are a couple of things that I noticed in this episode about Sean. I think we have discussed about this weird, double-faced side that we see to Sean. He is this super caring guy, which we've seen because he takes things so personally, and it feels like he is personally attacked, but he's doing that on behalf of somebody else. For example, when Chappie has a couple of glasses of wine in him, he starts to tell Chappie starts to tell Warda about the dessert that they had at the previous reward, which was the family videos. And it seemed that everybody was in agreement that they wouldn't tell the people about it, because I've mentioned before, there's this weird little place in your mind that your family go to, and sometimes you want to keep them there. But sometimes it slips out, and it kind of overwhelms you. It can do quite often. So they obviously all agreed that it would be cruel, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Sean came up with this, that it would be cruel to tell everybody else that they had these videos from their loved ones. So everybody agrees, don't tell. Chappies comes to merge, boom, what does he do? Claps a couple and starts spilling the beans to Warda. I think Chappies' intentions were pure. He wants to be like, listen, Warda, out there in the universe is a video that your husband and child did for you, and it's going to boost you because that's what it did to me. I want you to hold out hope that there's this video and it's for you and it's there, and I want you to soak it up. That's what I feel that his intentions were. I don't think Chappies is a mean oak. I think sometimes his confidence and cockiness sometimes gets in the way of that, but I feel like he had the right intentions, and it didn't quite work because Sean, 2 people down, is hearing this and going, but we had an agreement. And now you're hurting her feelings because she's crying. I don't know. We don't really hear from Warda about how she actually took that. I think it probably didn't go down too well. Anyway, we have the Wild Coast Feast, which, as everybody mentioned, looked incredible. They keep showing that little clue that was near the drinks, which I'm surprised Chappies didn't see. But every time he went near that table, he was blindsided by the wine, which I'm sure that he drank all of, because some points he switches to bubbles. And everybody knows that you don't go to bubbles, you drink bubbles to start and go to something else. So I'm assuming that he drank all the red wine. But nobody actually gets that clue. And it's so obviously hidden, that you think to yourself, how does nobody see that clue? After 19 days of nothing but rice, and they have pap and they have coconut, it seems. I haven't seen them win salt. They got a bit of coffee, which I saw at some point on some extra footage somewhere that they used as a face rub. Let me tell you, I would put mine in my pocket and take it away because I ain't putting that on my face. It's going in my mouth. Forget about it. So there was everything there. And your mind, I've spoken about this before, your mind kind of switches off game mode. And you start enjoying yourself with the people next to you. And it's a weird space to be in, because at first you're like, I don't want to seem to be hunting for the clue, except Chappies, obviously he lifted everything except that where the clue was. But you don't want to seem too obvious to be looking, but you do want to look, and then you start tasting the food and some other part of your brain takes over. It's a weird place to be in, but that I think is what happened, and nobody found that clue. Which, to be honest with you, I'm glad. If there was another idol, I don't know, because that tribal council was an advantage avalanche. It let rip. Phew. There seems to still be some tension between Anele and Warda. So I have a feeling that this edit of Warda smashing Smash is going to land up, bear with me, that either Warda gets blindsided by Smash, but I don't know, or they might end up working together. I don't know, but there's something here in this story with Anele and Warda that is intriguing me. And I don't know, Anele seems so confident in his game, and his game is really hinged on a lot of other people. There's a point in the episode when I rewatched it tonight where I realized that the reason why everybody was in a pickle was because Anele said, nah, that he would never play the idol for Chappies. That came out of his mouth probably 3 times. Problematic. I did the same thing. I remember, I can't even tell you which vote it was. I think it was for Palesa perhaps. And I was like, guys, she doesn't have another idol. Who's going to find 2 idols? Like, it's just impossible. There's no way. Had Palesa played that idol, we would have not got the tribal council going the way we needed it to. Because I was so blinded by, like, of course not. Of course we wouldn't. And that's where Nele was. He was just so convinced that Tyson and Kieran would not play their idol for Chappies. And there was this perfect, chaotic storm happening, with this perfect eye of the storm happening. Do you know who that eye was? That eye's name is Santoni. Guys, a lot of people are saying that Kieran is the mastermind, that Tyson is the mastermind. No. There's two moments that back me up in that belief. There's a moment where they talk about what name they need to be talking about. That's Tyson talking to Santoni, saying, okay, so who do we want to go? Santoni says Marisha needs to go. She's got to go. And that is because Marisha keeps talking to Santoni like the netball captain. She's just like, do you even go here? Like, what? You probably have an extra 4 days left in you. I'm not judging you, because I did the same thing with Tom. I was so arrogant about my confidence in my alliance. I'm not blaming Marisha. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but that's how it comes across. Like, what? Who are you to tell me that I only have 4 days left in the game? It's a weird place to be in. That pisses Santoni off. It happens a couple of times. Enough for her to go, actually, these girls need to be broken up. And she's the one who's got to go. Plus the fact that she's like a whole He-Man. Like, her arms need its own Facebook page. It's incredible. There's another point where Santoni is playing both sides so well. The only name that she mentions is Nicole. No, guys, they tell me that they're going to go for Nicole. Subtle mind control there. Ooh, Nicole. At no point does anybody mention Marisha's name. And that is a key moment. The other moment is when she's talking on the beach with Kieran and Anesu, I think. And she tells them that this is what's got to happen for it to work. She's telling them that you got to go and get to Immunity Island, and you got to send Tyson, and then we've got this idol, and we've got that, and you need to play it for this, and we've got... She comes up with this, like, higher grade, algebraic maths something that really is the moment for me that Kieran then goes and does a confessional and says, yeah, this is the plan. We're going to play the idol on Chappies, and they're going to get blindsided. Everybody is talking about how many times, guys, I didn't take notes of actually how many times, but think about it. How many times did you hear, this is a simple vote, straightforward vote, Chappies is going to go, Chappies is going to go. There's a moment when, I'll tell you exactly who's there. There's a moment when Kieran is standing with Amy, Marisha, Nicole, and Smash, and they tell him outright, this is who we're going to vote for Chappies. We're going to vote for Chappies. We're going to vote for Chappies. You're telling one of the biggest brains in this game, are we just going to vote for Chappies? It's going to be a simple, straightforward vote. Yeah, okay, cool. You've literally just given them the ammunition. And some people might think, oh, it's too early for them to start blindsiding or playing their idols. Maybe they'll hold on until there's less people in the game. It's more effective, la-di-da-di-da. But what's happened now is they have smashed. It's now 6-6. And there is Immunity Island still in play. So whoever wins the next immunity challenge is going to have a big decision to make. Who do you send to Immunity Island? At the moment, it was so fascinating in the Tribal Council when Chappies was talking about the power players, and he says, when I'm gone, the next person to go are the big players. I think he said the strong players, if I'm not correct. He says the strong players need to watch themselves because they're going to be next. Right? He continues then to point out Anele first, Renier second, and Sean. Excuse me? what are you basing your vote on? At the moment, the names that are out there are Chappies and Warda. Where are these strong players? This man's brain and how he views men is problematic. And I'm not surprised that Warda keeps fighting with people about it. Because in that challenge, we will get to it, guys, the people who went out before the people who won, Rainier went out at 6. Where's your strong? Anello went out second. Where's your strong player? Where's your strength? No, Chappies. And then Sean went out, if I'm not mistaken, where is it? Sean went out 5th. The rest of the people are not your strong players according to Chappies and women. Warda was in there, Nicole was in there, Anesu was in there. That aside. Right, let's get back to a bit of the stuff that happens on the beach, which I can weigh in on. Because if I'm one expert in anything, it is chickens. Me and the chickens, I have a picture. I'm going to just bear with. I just remembered something. Is that not me and a chicken? Guys, if I know one thing in Survivor, it's chickens. That moment that Anesu has about the chickens, I'm not going to get involved. And she does exactly what I did. I said to myself, there's no way. What are you talking about? Me and the chickens, I'm not going to fight for the chickens. I'm not going to get involved in the chickens. I'm not going to be upset about the chickens. The chickens arrive. I'm like, oh, yay, little animals. Yay, me. Go me. It was so frustrating to watch. Anyway, the thing where they think they're going to release the big cocks, which was a rather large cock. Biggest one I've seen. And they decide to tie them up and get them out and just let them have a little wander around. Now the chickens, I don't know the psychology of a chicken, but a chicken, what I realized when I was there on an island with 3 demonic chickens, guys. These chickens were bizarre. I don't know what was happening in the Philippines, but they were not the normal chickens. They were some other kind of demonic chickens. But what happens is they come back to where they're fed. So you don't have to chase them around. I did tie up the chickens for the first little bit just to show them that this is where you need to be. And those MFers, they get themselves out of that string. That's why my chickens were like some other kind of Houdini situations. But what I also find interesting is what happened to us with the chicken. We were on the little island Luzon, and the chicken, actually, we didn't tie it up I put it back in its little cage. We went to a challenge. When we came back, the chicken had almost been attacked by one of those huge monitor lizard things. So with the chickens walking around, you're also attracting predators. So hopefully they manage to get the chickens back in the cages and that they don't eat the chickens, because I will tell you that there's very little meat on those little chickens and it doesn't go very far when there's that many people on a team. So hopefully they all realize, hey, let's hold out and see if our chickens give us eggs. We don't see it very often on Survivor, but let's hold out hope. But hopefully they're not around. Or hopefully, not hopefully, Anesu, I don't hope that you get voted out, but I really hope that you're not around if and when they decide to slaughter a chicken. It is not a pleasant thing to watch. It's not a pleasant thing to listen to, and good Lord, I hope it never happens. Let me just pick up my chicken. I can't even tell you if I named these chickens, but I'm going to put it here just for reference. Did a whole Polaroid print of that chicken. Shame. It was delicious though. Right. Chappies and his spy shack. Hey, hey. Ooh, sips tea. I think Chappies is going to be Chappies' worst enemy. He is so all over the show and just blatantly going out there and trying his hardest to find that idol. Which reminds me about that, my favorite play from Mr. Smash himself. Using the clues from his Immunity Island visit to, and it was a luck of the draw thing, right? He's busy telling Sean, guys, I got this idea and I think it'll be cool if we send somebody on a wild goose chase. And in walks Chappies, the best target for this plan. And he's got 4 clues or something, and they send this poor fella on a mining excursion at the sign. The moments were just so classic when he was under the shelter, or under a whole grown-ass man under a shelter. When he was... Rabbit, what are you doing? Psst, come here. She's behaving weirdly, maybe because I've been talking about a chicken behind her back. A whole grown-ass man underneath the shelter looking for the next clue, which he finds in the torch holder, which sends him to the tribe sign, which then sends him on a digging mission. And everybody's like, you see Chappie's looking for the idol. Look at this man looking for an idol. Look at him. Just drawing so much of the attention. But man, is he a showman. I love watching him in his confessionals. He is just absolute gold. 100% convinced that he was going to go into the challenges and do 7 straight. Just without any shadow of a doubt, the man is going to do an idol run that is going to land him up in the top however many and be like, I'm done. I just won everything. Bye. Just bizarre to watch. Let me just quickly, I didn't even check the questions today. Let's talk about this. Santuni, is so aware of where she is in the game as well, that she would be able to answer this for you. She knows, she says it, she's like, I think I've got maybe 2 votes left in playing both sides, and then she's going to have to figure something out. But there's moments in this play that are so brilliant where they decide that Anesu as well is going to vote for Chappies because it's not going to count anyway. But they need somebody to still be involved in the other alliance, and they believe that they still have that number. Santuni she's got a massive target on her back. In every conversation about who's next, Santuni's name is coming up. Warada's name is coming up, and so is Santuni's name. Obviously, Chappie's name's coming up in literally every conversation. But Santuni's going to have a hard time winning the trust back from any of the people she's just crossed. But she has got a very good thing going with Tyson and with Kieran, who know that information without the information that Santuni gave them. Santuni gave them the information about who's got idols, and there's a bit where I think, oh, well, Santuni's telling them about Tyson's idols, but actually, that was actually a key moment for her, because having told everybody about this idol actually made it possible for the guys to actually come up with a plan and make them second guess who they would play that idol for. So they don't care that everybody knows about the idol, because they're going to play it. And now it's a game of second guessing who you think I'm going to play it for. Smash is telling them he's not going to play it for Chappies. They think they're going to play it for Anesu. It's all over the show. That fact that the idols, I remember there used to be a point in the game where idols like had to be a secret for them to work. At the moment, it creates so much more tension and drama for us when we know that everybody else knows where the idols are. I mean, somebody stands up in tribal council saying, oh, I don't think everybody knows about this. Somebody says, yeah, we know about it. It's just like, well, we know about your idol, your vote nullifier, Smash, sit down. It's all over the show. Can Santuni come back from it? I think maybe for a vote or 2. I think that Kieran and Tyson would probably picture a final 3 with Santuni. Maybe not. I would love to know Kieran's, Kirsten, there's a Tyson Kieran name mashup there. I would love to know Kieran's brain at this moment. Does he believe that he can go to the end with Tyson and beat him? Because then he's going to take somebody like Sean, maybe. Does he take somebody like Amy? Does he take somebody like Nicole, who he thinks that, okay, cool, at this point, I can beat them? Tyson is also probably sitting back and going, can I take Kieran and beat him? I think equally at the end, depending on obviously how the game goes forward, it's about their resume. And I think that final three would be incredible. Tyson, Santoni, Kieran. But I don't know how long Santoni can go on, because she's not finding idols herself. I won't write her out for immunity wins because everybody wrote me out and I won too. So it's going to be interesting to see how long her team can protect her. Or do people look the other way and say, okay, Santoni is spreading information, she's dangerous, she's playing this game. But somebody like Tyson and Kieran, who are winning challenges, maybe they're the bigger targets. So maybe they go first. At this point, I don't want to make any predictions, guys. This game is just so unpredictable at the moment. I said to my girlfriend today, I said, thank the Lord above that I don't have to play this game with these people. LaRue, no. I am not even remotely on these people's levels. Like, I'm not even playing here. The way Santoni's brain is working, the way Kieran is seeing the game, the way Tyson is playing the game, and it's the trust between Santoni and Tyson, and maybe we're not seeing the other side, but the trust between Santoni and Tyson is there. And Tyson is here, and I don't know, he's selling it to me, and he's selling it to Santoni. I don't know how much he believes that, or how much he is just saying it. But he's saying it with conviction, that she's believing it, and we are believing it. Where the truth is, I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to stick his neck out, like put his game in danger to save her. The strategy in this episode, the way that it played out, was very clinical but calculated. Nobody was actually at risk. They were nowhere, because even if they'd split their votes, they still would have won. So it was a very, very calculated, big fireworks, simple plan. It was because they had so many advantages. If you're in the game, somebody like Rainier is sitting there going, oh, Neeman, I had a perfectly good strategy. Now there's all these idols in play. How does a person even play? How does a person win now going forward? That's the problem. That's the point at the moment, is that it's so unpredictable. In the preview for the next episode, Chappies and Rainier have a conversation where Chappies is schooling Tyson on the game, because Chappies is so involved in the strategy and making himself a great player. No, my friend, people are keeping you around. Otherwise, you would have been gone home today. You would have been the person in that bubble bath, not Marisha. So, but it's going to be very, very interesting. The fallout. And when they come back to the beach, that is going to be an interesting episode, because Anesu's also playing that game and she voted for Chappies. So she can say, I voted for Chappies. Go read the votes. Go check it out. I voted for Chappies. Knowing full well that she's playing with the other team. Or is she not? She could eventually say, I played with you guys. I knew the strategy. Thanks for all that. Helped you out there. But when it suits me, I'm going to go back here. It's this game at the moment seems very like you're on this side, you're on this side. But at the moment, those people, and they've said it, is an individual game. Is something like taking stuff super personal, like Sean is doing, going to harm him in the long run? I think probably. They keep calling him a big, strong player, but I haven't seen him dominate in a lot of the challenges. So perhaps he's going to be sort of in the middle of the pack. Somebody like Nicole, not super strong strategically, but middle of the pack, does really well at some of the challenges, like is there. there's so many people that are in the mix that it's going to be really interesting to see what happens next. Let's talk about that challenge, right? I'm just going to go to the top of the comments because I think that's what everybody wants to talk about. Yes, there were 2 records that were smashed in this episode. One of them was how long that challenge went on for. I think the record is something like 2:15 or something. Kieran stays up there for 3.5 hours. My whole work day, my job is 3 hours. It's from 6 until 9 is my actual job. 3 hours of radio. This man decided, no, I'm going to do a bit of prep before that. I'm going to do 3 hours and a half. A challenge, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I went to Kieran's house now and he had a pole set up in his backyard with chunks cut out and he's been practicing that his whole life. Because, Lord, he did not even seem perturbed. He was like, oh, he's struggling. Shame. I mean, Anesu was all out here like, guys, I visualized myself winning this challenge. You just sit down. Just take a load off your bleeding toes. Shame, chappies. Shame. That man looks so comfortable. There was not even any temptation about food. Santoni went out very quickly. Me, I would have held on. At least until Nico tried to offer me something. But obviously I wouldn't have made it. But guys, this is the order in which they went out. Santoni went out first, followed very quickly by Anele. There's your strong player. Marisha went out third. There's your strongest woman. Muscle mass is heavy, guys. Also, my mass is also heavy. Amy went out. Sean went out. The strong player. Rainier went out right after that. In physical pain. You could see he wanted to go further, but did not. Nicole lasted for 2 hours. The record, remember, is from Ozzy. He did it for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Nicole did it for 2 hours. Chappies then went right after her. And then the plan gets hatched by Kieran and Tyson and Anesu. Kieran says to Tyson, bro, I can see you're struggling. Just, it's cool, I got you. I'm going to send you to Immunity Island. He says to Anesu, it's cool. Let's send Tyson to Immunity Island. If you win, if you don't win, don't worry. It doesn't matter. We're going to send Tyson to Immunity Island. And Anesu is sort of now in the middle of that whole plan. She still thinks she's like, okay, cool, but I still want to win. Kieran's like, okay, cool, no problems, bae. You win. You do you. And then continue to hold on. So Kieran wins. Very diplomatically says, I'm sending Tyson to Immunity Island because I told him to stand down and it's only good that I repay my debts. Classy. Classy, classy, classy. And off Tyson goes and dutifully does, peace out, not even going to check out the challenge because I'm going to take this idol and the immunity that comes with it and bequeath it. Solid strategy, man. Because that Immunity Island, that chance of you losing your vote at this point in the game, you literally can't. You can't afford to lose your vote. Especially when the numbers are so tight. Also, Mr. Anele's got this no vote firstly, and then he's also got, I'm going to steal your vote. So you're now essentially in this predicament because you're down by numbers and a vote. He comes back, now they have this idol, which they're going to bequeath. And now it's a game of guess who? Who does what? And this is where subtle and strong and powerful gameplay comes along. Instigated by 3 people. Tyson, Kieran, Santoni, and to a degree, Anesu. Those people played some of the strongest Survivor you will ever see. The podcast with Shannon and Mike will be this long, 4 hours, talking about this one episode of Survivor. Everybody is going to be talking about this episode. And I quote Kieran, he says, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. And that's exactly what he's bringing. I don't believe that he thinks he's going to go anytime soon. I think Kieran is confident that he's going to go deep into the game. And at this point, he is in a strong position. I'm interested to see. This is just a theory that's been sitting with me. Sean is taking things so personally. And he was the one who kept hitting home and saying, guys, what if they play the idol for chappies? What if they play the idols for chappies? What if they play the idols for chappies? He said it probably 3 times. Everybody glossed over and said, no, we got this. We got this. We got the numbers. We got the confidence. We're the best peanuts in the packet. We good. We good. Don't come here. I wouldn't be surprised if Sean comes back marginally annoyed that nobody listened to him. And now he's stuck in this alliance where people are just going to be picked off. I'm going to watch Sean over the next couple episodes to see where his annoyance takes him. Because it can either sink his game completely, or he can blow stuff up and be like, I'm available. I'm not working with these people. They don't listen to my opinions. They don't listen to my input. I'm done. And I think the throw forward to the next episode also spoke about how, I think he says, I'm really pissed. If maybe my words are incorrect. But I'm pretty sure that he's going to come back so annoyed that the plan didn't work out and nobody listened to him and what he had to say. So Sean is going to be one for me to watch because he's very, very, very unpredictable. So anyway, let me get some of these comments that I may have missed. Tyson now has the second most votes against him nullified after playing idols behind Kelly Wentworth. I don't think it's against him because there weren't any votes cast against him. I think it's cast like nullifying votes. And yes, Kelly Wentworth is the one who holds the record at 12. And at the moment, he's sitting at 11. Which just goes to show the incredible... I think, I've always thought this, again, and it's because my gameplay is not as... like Ragnarok, Thor type of level that Kieran and Tyson are playing at. That I always said that an idol is sometimes a bit of a problem. If you don't play it correctly, it can harm your game. Especially with Santoni in the game, who just tells everybody who's got an idol and who doesn't. So it's going to be super interesting seeing now that Tyson doesn't have an idol. I would not be surprised if Tyson finds another idol, wins another idol, goes to Immunity Idol Island, something like that. Tyson is he's covered in butter, man. Nothing is like sticking to him. People are trying. It's just not working, dude. Not working. Hilgard says, prove again that family visits and videos can sometimes do more harm. 100%. I think one of my, the things that helped me, although in the end of that day, it still did screw me up. But one of the great things was that firstly, my family are not overly emotional. So my mom's letter from home was like, she didn't even write it. Zaningi wrote it, my best friend. She was like, hey, we're super proud of you. Well done. It was half a page. Hey, your parents are really proud. People at work are missing you. Rabbit's doing well. End of story. Like, not super emotional because I'm about as deep as a puddle. So that didn't clap me. The letter didn't clap me. And I got it, I think, after the food auction. And my loved one's visit as well was not like this super intense. My best friend, my flatmate, yeah, it would have been great to have a meal with her and talk about the game, but it didn't sidetrack me. It didn't clap me. The other people seeing their family hit me harder than not having my mom or my dad or my brother come out. Just my bestie come out. So I 100% agree with you. In fact, that's a good strategy for people wanting to play the game at some other time. Don't take somebody who will make you cry at your loved one's challenge. Take a bestie. Hilgard says, I think Sean is a lot more socially connected than we think, which would make him a threat. Yes, but is he in control of his emotions? And if he isn't, how can he use that to his benefit? I don't know. My strength, Marion, is in the chickens. There's lots of comments here. Welcome anybody who's just joined us. Chappies was so paranoid. Watching Chappies jump in and out of his spy shack, it exhausted me. I don't know if Tyson and Kieran go to a final 2 together. How do you distinguish the moves between them? That's the thing that when I was in the game, right? So it's so fascinating watching the game and being in the game, because you are getting the full, not the full story, the edited story, but the story. I am only ever seeing my side of the story. And that's what harms you, right? You start to get so caught up in your own story, your storyline, your tree and its veins. That's the story that you know. That's the story that you can see. What you're being told by everybody else is not the truth. You get home and you watch it on TV and you're like, I look like such an idiot. But when you're in the game, somebody like Chappie's just sitting there going, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Like he's in that moment, believes that everything is cool. Like this is fine. Smash, for example, saying, Chappie, they're not going to play the idol for Chappies because he's only seeing his own game. And that's so hard. When you get home and you watch it on TV, you're just like, oh. Chappies either laughed himself silly or like cringed watching himself look for that idol. Because again, you are playing with the information that you have. Watching the edit at home is just like a completely another story. So, are we getting the full story with Kieran and Tyson? Are their games and their opinions, people's opinions of them on the same level? When I was in the game, thought that this is how bizarre my brain went. That Vanner and I game was on the same level. Vanner, one of the best players in the game. I was of the opinion that if I went to the final with Vanner, that it would be an equal shot. No goal. No. It took a lot of reflection and listening. Eventually, I did listen to what people were saying. Hold on a second, John. You're not going to beat Vanner at the final 2. Are you mad? And that's where at some point Tyson and Kieran will have to make a call. Can they go to the end, and are they seen as equals? Because when it comes to a play like today, one person is going to be seen as responsible. And they're not going to share the glory and be like, oh yeah, no, it was actually between 4 people. No, one of the people is going to be seen as the decision maker, as the person who came up with that architect of that plan. At the end, do you take somebody who could be an equal with you, but perhaps what other people are seeing is not the same? It's a very, very tough decision when you've got 2 strong players like Tyson and Kieran, and if they do make it all the way to the end, and that's a decision they have to make, I would think at this point, the first episode into the merge, at this point, yes, that's I think that would be a strong decision to make. It would be very tough for them to choose between the 2. Depends on how the game goes. Depends on who turns on who and who stabs who in the back, right? There's lots of that going around. Tyson played well, but let's be honest, the move was Kieran's idea and he killed it. It wasn't Kieran's idea. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. But from what we were seeing, and I watched it again today, that idea was being explained by Santoni. So in the moment, Kieran's idea, when he's standing on the top of the pole, that's his idea, to send Tyson to get the immunity. He knows in that moment he's going to come back with the idol to bequeath to somebody. Is the idea Kieran's? From what we were shown, I don't think so. Santoni looks like she's the one with the plan. She's the one who says, vote Nicole. She's the one, that's the lie that she spreads, vote Nicole. She's the one who is standing around Kieran and Anesu. She says, play your idol for Chappies. You've got yours. Tyson's got a hidden immunity idol, played for Chappies. I don't know. I don't know if we're getting the full story. That's what I saw on TV. I don't know. I don't know. I did make literally word for word. Guys, Santoni is in it. How long can she last? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Somebody says they're watching South Africa at the moment. I'm assuming that they are from overseas. It's the best play we've ever seen. 100% agree. Somebody says, I wonder if that merge idol will find its way back into the game. What are we? How many people have we got left here? Marisha's gone. So Anele, Renier, Amy, Nicole, Sean, Anesu, Tyson, Kieran, Santoni, and Warda. 9. Yes. 2 people on the jury. That's 11. I think, if I'm not mistaken, LaRue said idols and stuff can't be played until final 6. So they only have a few episodes to play around before. And that idea where they were talking about that absolute confidence that we will play until final 6 and then we will play. It's so misguided in this season. In some other seasons, perhaps not. Some other seasons, having the numbers, playing that game to the end, I would put my money on that any day. This game, no. With people like Chappies in there who are unpredictable. With people like Santoni in there who are unpredictable and playing literally everybody. Santoni has a relationship with, as far as we can see, with literally most of the people. So, I don't know. Literally anything is possible. I don't think that strong 6 is going to last. I can't see it happening. Yeah, sorry, there are 11 people left. 11 people in the game. Now there's 10, right? Marisha's on the... I'm exhausted after that episode. I've watched it twice, and I still am like speechless. Okay, obviously not speechless because I've just done 50 minutes of an Instagram live, so I obviously do have a speech. But it's so... The game is so broad at the moment. Oftentimes, there's like a front runner. In our season, it was Van. Everybody's like, Van is going to win, Van is going to win. You meet people on the street, hi, are you Jean from Survivor? Yeah, sure, Van is going to win, hey. Yeah, sure. So, it's, at this point, even the players who don't seem like they're like playing super hard haven't really had to play hard. They've been in a position of comfort and they haven't been forced to like scramble. I'll never forget Teresa being like, I'm gonna make some waves before I leave here. I'm gonna go out here and be like, no, I have this fake piece of paper, I'm gonna play it, lala, and stirred the pot before she left. She had her back up against the wall, knew she wasn't in a good space. So these people who are sort of in the middle of the road, are we going to see them kick it up a gear when their backs are against the wall? I don't know. It's so fascinating to watch even the smaller players, which in this case, I mean, they might seem like small, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more twists and turns. Somebody says there is a possibility of having a double tribal council next episode. Somebody told me that this one is supposed to be a double tribal whatever. But there's so much that could go on. All I know is that LaRue is trying to be as unpredictable. And that's why they had so many, like, tribal shuffles. This is the reason, because Santoni is now literally playing everybody against everybody. Anesu is like decided, actually, hold on, these people are not in my best interests. Because do you want to be a part, if you can pull it off, right? If you're a part of 7, cool, you can cruise on to 7 and then you can fight. I did that with 5. I was fully invested in the 5. I had no idea that people wanted me gone. I had no idea that I was being targeted. I had no idea that people were like, no, Jean's actually not going to go the whole way. Until 3, when I realized, or 4, whatever, I realized, I was like, oopsie doodles. I was 100% thought we were going to play till 5, because that makes sense in my brain. Obviously, other people had other plans. But do you want to be a part of a 7 where you don't actually know your position in 7? Jacques and them, they also had that magnificent 7 Sundays from Fridays, I can't remember. But they were also 7. They were like, no, we're going to play till 7. Do you want to be a part of that 7 up until the moment of 7 and then realize that you're actually the extra 2 for a 5? And then you're like, bye. Then the 5 start playing. And the 5 had an agreement to actually play until 5. And then you realize that you're actually the 5th in the 5. So you're Sean and you're like, oh, sorry. Then you got Renier and Amy and Nicole and Anesu, whatever the plan might be. Or are you somebody like Anesu who's going, hold on a minute, let me test the waters here. Do I go with the 7 and become this one of the numbers in an unknown pecking order? A peanut in the packet? Or do I make moves now, make relationships, and try and ingrain myself in with another alliance where at least I know, okay, cool, there's only 4 people here that are making big moves, and maybe I can be the 5th, and at least I can ingrain my way up and maybe blindside somebody else or bring over somebody to me and make strong alliances and play within the game. Or I go to the 5 for this vote, cool, lekker donkey, and here we are, and then I switch back over. This game, with these players, I think that these alliances may be... Amy, you're very late. Are you getting ready to watch Reika? No, girl, come now. It's very much past 7 o'clock. Just kidding, you're fine. Do you carry on with the status quo without knowing your position in a top 7? Or do you shake things up and start jumping? I think with players like Chappies, I think with players like Renier, I think with players like Santoni, Anesu is there, Warde is there playing a hard game. What are we going to see? I hate it when I hear the woman throw another woman's name in there, but just grates me. But that's my own personal stuff. Is there an opportunity for the women to gang up? I don't think so, to be honest with you. This game is anybody's at this moment. I know the focus right now is on Kieran and Tyson and Santoni. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see another big blindside like we saw today come along in the next 3 episodes. Big idol avalanche. If it's going to be an advantage avalanche, it's going to happen in the next 3. I don't know, man. Merge member we most important to drink beer with at the reunion. Santoni, obviously. I drank wine with her before the game started. She's a lach. Do I think that this will be a pagonging? It's a question on the line. I don't think so. Not with this cast. I don't think so. Ek weet glad nie, mense. It's gonna be interesting. The challenge is if they continue in this line with like iconic survivor challenges, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like maybe 2 or 3 more like iconic survivor challenges and 3 or 4 like completely new ones that are going to blow our minds, that even out the playing field. So yes, it may be physical, but there's going to be puzzles, there's going to be opportunities to make people who or give people who have not really had an opportunity to play to their strengths that opportunity. That happened to me in Merge. Every time I walked into the challenge, I was like, oh, this is not my one, man. No. I'm not going to hold on to this rope and keep my weight up. Are you jappy? And the next one I'd walk into, that one where you had to put the operation game and stack the cups. Maybe. But my height screwed me over again. I did not think the one with the dragon was going to be my challenge. But it wasn't really my challenge. It was just not everybody else's challenge. So, yeah. But the one that I knew that I could win, and thank God Vanna was gone, because was the hand-eye coordination one where you drop the ball and you have time and you got to watch it and come out. I knew that my hand-eye coordination was really strong and that would be a good challenge for me. I hope we see those kind of challenges come to the fore and we see people who we haven't seen much from, like in terms of challenges. Sean, Amy, Anele, all these people that were considered the strengths. I want to see it. I can't wait. And I think we've got a few more episodes that are going to blow our socks off. So yes, we've seen one of the best episodes in the entire Survivor franchise. Is that the last of it? I don't think so. Kieran stood on a pole for 3.5 hours. One of the challenges was 4.5 hours. Not one of the challenges, one of the tribal councils was 4.5 hours. This final tribal council is going to be over 2 days. It's going to be a 2-day match. It's going to be epic. Whatever happens, we have got some incredible characters. We have got some great gameplay coming up. That's for damn sure. So I'm really looking forward to it. People keep asking me who I think is going to win. Are you paying attention? Nobody can call this. Nobody. Last season, yes. From episode 1, we were like, Rob. And then we had a little side feud, whatever, but nobody took him out. It was just predictable. This season is anything but predictable. Y'all thought Rhaenyra was going to be up there. At the moment, he's nowhere. Chappies has got a target on his back. Everybody who's somebody in this game has got a target on their back. Who survives? Who outplays? Who's there for a long time and not a good time? Only the next few episodes will tell. And honestly, people, please go and vote as well for your favorite player. I can tell you from experience, when you come second or third, you don't get anything. It sucks when the winner wins the car as well. Please, can you go out and vote for the person you love, not the person you think is going to win it. Vote for the person you think that you love the most. Where do you go? Go to the Mnet page, you log in, you get 10 votes a day. Please, please, please go and vote for the player that you love the most, who you think has been playing hard, right? Vote for Santoni, says Fadil. Guys, please go out and vote. It means the world. Go out and follow them. Follow me as well. If you're here for free, don't be like that. At least follow. Fadil, thank you very much for sharing the episode last week. Throw Forward will be here next week, same time, 7 o'clock. Be here. Guys, please stay safe. The third wave is dipping, but it's not over. We got to be strong. And hopefully the Uncle President's going to say hello, my fellow South Africans, in like 3 minutes. So let's hope that he opens up the drinks again, because I can't be the only one still with wine. And hopefully we lift that curfew so I'm not literally breaking the speed limits getting home after Survivor. Guys, stay safe. Thank you so much for giving me all your time. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for the comments in my inbox every time we do this. Thank you for the voice notes every time, Santoni. Appreciate it lots. Please go and watch now on Mnet. Reika, can you see it? Reika is starting now. It's going to be an epic series. Kim Engelbrecht, Tanda Tubete. It's beautifully written. The production is incredible. Please go and support local shows. It's on now in the movie slot. Mnet's taking chances for you guys. Go and support everything that Mnet does, please, because we've got to have another season of everything. So, Guys, stay safe. Marion, bye love. Bye Heal God. Bye Fadil. Take care, everybody. And we'll see you on Sunday for another Sunday Fam Survivor recap. Bye.